Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. So today's Spirit Week day is to get outside, enjoy the day. Thank God the rain is finally gone. And take a picture of yourself doing something active and send that to Mr. Isselman for posting. We're going to start off today reading our read aloud. I wanted to show you the cover of it for those of you who weren't reading it with us, so you have a visual of what the book actually looks like. So The Great Unexpected by Sharon Creech. Some of you know that that's my favorite author. I love her so much, and that's why this book got chosen, as well as it's just fun to read the different parts with funny little accents. The dogs are in WrestleMania mode this morning, so don't be surprised if they come barreling in here at any moment. Here's Asher. Asher, are you a good boy? Asher's a Labrador, and he's really calm and nice. Let me make this a little bigger. All right, so yesterday's reading was trying to figure out what was inside the trunks. The girls are going to have to start doing some chores now that they've gotten to summertime, so we'll see what happens today. The Unfortunate Souls. Lizzie's home chores were few because Mrs. Cupright suffered headaches when persons were underfoot. And so Lizzie offered to help me clean out the barn if I would help with her community service. The target of her service to the community was going to be the unfortunate elderly under the supervision of Mrs. Mudkin from her church. Joe and Nuala and I did not go to an official church on Sunday, much to the botherment of others. Instead, we had Sunday pause time. After Sunday breakfast, we'd go outside and sit ourselves down wherever we chose, on the fence, the ground, or the metal chairs. And Joe would say something along the lines of, "Look at this green place we have landed in. It's a beauty." And Nuala would say, "It's almost as green as the green hills of Ireland." And I would usually not say anything at all, merely listen to the chickens or the birds or the church bells in the distance. We'd sit there a while, depending on the weather, until Joe would say, "There now, that feels good," and I didn't even have to put on fancy clothes. I used to enjoy these Sunday pauses, but for the past year they'd been making me itchy. What else, I wondered, what else is out there? And I would fly off up into the air through the clouds, over the fields, beyond the town, over the cities, over the rivers, over the ocean, until I got to the green hills of Ireland. When I heard Joe say, "There now, that feels good," I'd come home. "Is there a problem? Can you sit down?" "Yeah, you. Sit down. Sit. Sit. You don't listen. Where are you going? Get out of here. What do you want? Are you being a good girl? Hey. Get out of here. Crazy. On Sunday afternoon, I met Lizzie at her church so we could go over duties with Mrs. Mudkin for helping the poor, unfortunate elderly. If you saw Mrs. Mudkin, you might wonder why she herself was not on the list of the poor, unfortunate elderly. Stop it! Stop it. Right now. Get outside. You're bad. Watch. As soon as I go back to reading the book, then she acts like a jerk. Oh. Go play outside. Bad. Did it? What do you do? Told you, WrestleMania. All right, let's see if we can keep going here. Tiny and narrow as a stick, she had papery skin so thin you could see right through to her veins. On her face, as wrinkled as an old plum, were narrow glasses dotted with rhinestones. Her hair was violet and tightly curled. Her brown flowered dress fell to her tightly laced sturdy shoes. She was not sure if I would be a good helper for Lizzie, seeing as I did not belong to their church, but Lizzie told her that I might be converted if I hung around for doing good deeds for the poor, unfortunate elderly. Now, girls, Mrs. Mudkin said, here's a list of things you might do to help the poor souls. She handed Lizzie a piece of paper on which she had written in her shaky script suggestions. Then she proceeded to read the list to us. You might assist with personal grooming, combing hair, tying shoes, washing. Lizzie interrupted. Washing? You don't mean bathing them, do you? Because I don't think that's appropriate, do you? Well, no, dear. Well, now, no, dear, Mrs. Mudkin said. I mean, maybe they want help washing their faces. Excuse me, ma'am, but are you saying some of these souls are so unfortunate that they cannot wash their own faces? Well, now, if they are bedridden, for example, they might need help with that, yes. Mrs. Mudkin glanced down at her list and read the second item. You might assist with household chores such as dusting, sweeping, dishwashing, laundry, ironing, Lizzie said. Excuse me, ma'am, but that sounds like what a maid would do. Are we going to be maids for the poor, unfortunate souls? Mrs. Mudkin eyed Lizzie over the top of her jeweled spectacles. No, you are not going to be maids. You might only do one or two of these things for each person. Here, dear, why don't you read through the list on your own, and I will meet you here Tuesday at noon and escort you to the first home. You'll find a list of poor, unfortunate souls on the back. Mrs. Mudkin seemed in a hurry to be rid of us, nearly pushing us out the door. At the bench outside of T-Bop's store, we sat down to read through the rest of the list. Most of the suggestions were along the lines of reading aloud from the newspaper or Bible, feeding cats and changing litter boxes, that sort of thing. At the bottom, though, was a note about things to avoid, and these included discourage use of alcohol and tobacco, discourage bad language, discourage slovenly habits. Lizzie turned the page over. On the back was a list of 4 names and their addresses. The first 2 were elderly gentlemen, Mr. T. Canner of 12 Elm Street and Mr. A. Farley of 23 Cork Street. This is my life. It's just like being at school. Are we done? Get out of here. Lulu carries around this little tiny squeaker. You can't even see it. That's how small it is. There it is. Dude, that's mine. All day long. Ridiculous. All right, let's see if we can finish this. Oh my God. You know them, right, Naomi? The one with the pointy head, old man Canner, and the one who got hit by the train, one-armed Farley? And then we saw the next 2 names. No, Lizzie breathed, no. But there they were, right there. Both Crazy Cora and Witch Wiggins were on the list. We can't go there, Lizzie said. We are just going to have to tell Mrs. Mudkin, aren't we, Naomi? We can't be going into places that have 1,000 alive birds and a bunch of coffins and crazy people running about. We certainly can't be expected to go to those places, can we? Once when I was 7 or 8, I climbed a tall oak tree at the far edge of our field. What a view! A breeze came in, fits and starts. The leaves tickled my arms and legs, and I was at the top of the world. As I went to climb down, my foot slipped and my weaker arm wasn't able to grab the nearest branch, and down I went. I remember thinking, I'm falling. I came to at the base of the tree, scratched, bruised, and with a powerful headache. I made my way to the house where Joe greeted me. What you got? Have you been tangling with a bear? Fall out of a tree? That was the other Naomi. What? Not me, the other Naomi. She fell out of a tree. Joe and Nuala kidded me about that for some time. If I let the milk out on the counter, they'd say, who left that milk out? Must have been the other Naomi. Or did the other Naomi forget to feed the chickens? After we left Mrs. Mudkin, I was wondering if maybe the other Naomi could visit the unfortunate souls. So that's it for today for our read aloud, boys and girls. I will definitely make the dogs go outside when I teach the math problem in a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this little part of the story, and look for some questions on Schoology. Talk to you later.